The Great Mouse Plot. Uh, in the first stanza, you see, my four friends and I had come across a loose floorboard at the back of the classroom, and when we pressed it up with the blade of a pocket knife, we discovered a big hole, big hollow space underneath, right? This
Yes,
we decided, this we decided would be our hiding place of sweets and other small treasures, such as conchers, monkey nuts, and bird's eggs, right? So, what
yes.
is monkey nuts?
It's a type of sweet.
Monkey nuts is not a type of sweet. Monkey nuts, it called peanut, peanut. That is chine badam. So it has been called so, like monkey nut, because it has been being called so since a long time ago. When this food became popular for the monkeys in the zoos, in the zoo,
Yes, sir.
not for their natural habit to have nuts or peanuts. You cannot say having nuts or peanut is monkey's natural habit. It is not monkey's natural habit. But in the earlier times, in the zoos, monkeys were given the nuts, peanuts were given to the monkeys as their foods. From this culture, from this type of use, it is called monkey nuts, right? And bird's eggs, it is talking about the eggs that can be chicken egg. So actually, from the first stanza, we are getting the hint that all of them who are talking in the story to deal with the event, they are not actually the brilliant students, right? They are not actually the good students in the class. Good in terms of studying well, intelligently, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the implication of the first stanza. Otherwise, nobody will find the hollow to make it their treasure hollow, their treasure hole, right?
Yes, sir.
To keep their money, conquers, monkey nuts, eggs. So, next stanza, one day when we lifted it up, we found a dead mouse laying among our treasures. So, it was their wrong to keep their foods in such a hollow, right? Because it becomes dangerous in terms of being poisonous, right?
Yes, sir.
So, if you keep your food in the hole of mouse, will it not be poisonous? Suppose you are a student, you went to school, and you kept your tiffin in the mouse hole. Anytime it can be poisonous. So, such activities, such intentions, such decisions taken by the students were not okay. Clear? So, when the first stanza is saying that the students have taken decision to use the hollow to be their treasure hole, to be their treasure hollow. From this point of view, we can understand that they were not the good students in terms
The,
of
the good student
intelligently
Nagar.
studying, right?
Secretary.
Yes. Next stanza, stanza second. One day when we lifted it up, we found a dead mouse laying among our treasures. So you understand, dangerous uh, thing has happened. So their foods have been poisonous already, as
Yes, sir.
a dead mouse is laying over there. It was an exciting discovery. You understood? The writer is talking about their exciting discovery. You mark this line. Exciting discovery. Hmm. Exciting discovery. Is it right to think of such idea to be an exciting discovery?
No, sir.
It is not an exciting discovery,
Sir, it
but
can be someone's loss.
yes, someone's loss. Already they have lost their foods in the
Yes,
hollow,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So it is not an exciting discovery. Instead, to the adults, to the mature people who are acknowledged with the reality, to them actually this is a dangerous discovery. That danger is now going to take place. Okay, in the story you will see that danger will take place in the life of a shopkeeper, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Thavets took it out by its tail and waved it in front of our face. What shall we do with it? She cried. It stings. Stings means, you understand, it is very much reek. An unpleasant smell is there, right? This is why it is a stink. Stink means unpleasant smell, right?
Yes, sir.
Someone shouted, "It is a stink! It has unpleasant smell!" Someone shouted like this. Throw it out of the window, quick! Clear?
Yes, sir.
So, unpleasant smell, it stings. It stings means it is unhealthy. Hmm. To be such a dead mouse there over our foods, right?
Yes, sir.
Already that I said. Hmm. That it's a dangerous discovery. Mm. So someone shouted to cast the dead mouse out of the window quickly, but we don't know until the story is read whether they will cast it or not. Right?
Yes, sir.
Hold on a tick. I said. I said means who said?
Sir, the narrator.
Yes, the narrator said. The narrator said. You see, the narrator is saying, hold it on a stick. So, narrator is trying to mean in my childhood, I was a dangerous child, right?
Yes, sir.
Because the decision of causing fun first came into the narrator's mind, right?
Yes,
Who
sir.
is the narrator?
Sir, Roald Dahl.
Yes, Roald Dahl. The writer himself is a narrator, playing role as a character in the story. Clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
the bad idea, the dangerous idea has come into the brain and mind of the narrator, Roald Dahl. So through this statement, when Roald Dahl said hold on a tick, so we can understand Roald Dahl was very, very dangerous child, right?
The dangerous man. The actually is not even dangerous.
Yes, but on that time, if you think of it from the child's point of view, because one child will consider you to be dangerous one, right? No adult will consider you to be dangerous one if you do so, right? because your activity to the adult is childish, right? But a child's activity to a child cannot be childish, right?
Yes, sir.
To the child's consideration. Suppose being a child, you are causing a harm to another child. So, from the another child's point of view, will you not be dangerous to him or her? Understood me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that thing I am saying. So, don't throw it away. Hmm. They were hesitated. They all looked at me. When writing about oneself, one must strive to be truthful. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Truth is more important. Truth is more important than modesty. This is very, very important line. Truth is truth is more important than modesty means.
Sir, truth মানে মডেস্টির থেকে বেশি important.
Yes, you can be modest in your behavior, what you are representing to someone else. That modesty does not mean what you are by truth, right? So,
Yes,
truth is more important than modesty. That means Roald Dahl is talking about to realize what is the distinctional idea between truth and modesty. Truth means what you are, and modesty means what you have in your appearance, in your representation, right?
yes, sir.
So you are representing your modesty to me, but I don't know the truth of yours that is inside you, right?
Yes, sir.
I must tell you, therefore, that it was I, and I alone, who had the idea for the great and daring mouse plot. This line should be underlined. It was I. That means the narrator is emphasizing, identifying himself as if a hero, right?
Yes, sir.
It was I, and I alone, who had the idea for the great and daring mouse plot. So, mouse plots, maker, creator, and thinker is only the narrator himself. That is made clear over here, right?
Yes, sir.
We all have our moments of brilliance and glory, and this was mine. You see, it is called glory, right? The narrator is saying it's a glory. So, what do you think of this word glory? Eh? Narrator is saying glory. Is
So
it a
glory
gl-
means,
is
sir,
it
it is the time of glory to run the narrator.
yes? Is it a actual glorious task?
No, sir.
It is not at
Sir,
all
it is
a
a no,
glorious
sir.
task,
Sir, এটা
but
একদম ভালো
the
কথা।
narrator is saying it's my glory. That means I am glorious. Hmm. For this, that means I am going to be glorified for having such a thought hmm, in my mind, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have our movement of brilliance. movement of brilliance. You see, the narrator is saying movement of brilliance. So, according to the childish point of view, it can be the movement of brilliance. But if you think of it profoundly, it is not the movement of brilliance, but movement of misdeed, right?
Yes,
Movement of wrong deeds. Clear? So, next you see, why don't we, I said, slip it into one of Mrs. Patchett's jars of sweets? You understand?
हाँ sir,
They
समझा.
have decided to make her a victim, right?
Yes sir.
Then, when she puts her dirty hand into grab a handful, she will grab a stinky dead mouse instead. You see, the description given by the boy, the description given by the child about Mrs. Paget, right? According to this given description, do you not believe how much hatred they did, right, about the lady? Hmm? How much did they hate the lady?
Yes sir.
Yes. So then, when she puts her dirty hand is considered to be dirty. Her hand is considered to be dirty hand, filthy hand, unclean hand. We don't know whether her hand was unclean or not. Whether Mrs. Patchett's hand was unclean or not, we are not sure about it. But what we are being informed are informed from the narrator's point of view, even when he was a child, right?
Yes sir.
The other four stared at me in wonder. Yes, the other four stared at me in wonder. Why? They stared at the narrator in wonder. Why did they stare at the narrator in wonder?
Sir,
Why?
because they never thought of doing such daring thing.
Yes, because other four children were not so much dangerous as the narrator himself in the story. While playing a role as a character, right? One thing I said, when narrator plays a role as a character in the story, he becomes it becomes first person narrative, right? Can you remember this?
Yes sir.
Yes. Next line. Then as the sheer brilliance of the plot began to sink in, they started grinning. So it is called seer, means nothing other than what is their fun, right? That means when the narrator is saying seer, means there was nothing in terms of seriousness, but louder by making fun. You see the word seer. Have you seen?
Yes sir.
Seer means there was nothing in terms of seriousness, but laughter by making fun. Clear? The author has also said the word grinning. Can you see the word grinning?
Yes sir.
It means huge laughing, huge laughter. Hmm, right.
Yes sir.
So, next line. They cheered me and danced around the classroom. That means those children had no discipline at all. Hmm. They were the unbound children. They were the undisciplined children. They were the indisciplined children, right? You will ask me one thing, why are you not taking this story to be a fun? Why are you explaining this story to be so seriously? You can ask me. Then I can say that I am not a child, that I will think of this story to be just a fun. Clear?
Sir, but sir, good India did something very serious. Sir. They did something very unserious.
Yes, yes. So, have you heard the word Malgudi? Uh, it's a fictional place in Madras that is now called Tamil Nadu. So, Swaminathan was a character in the story, and uh, this character has been made famous by the writer deliberately. He was a Bengali. He was a English writer in India. You know that means
So the
uh,
Malgudi days.
yes, Malgudi days. Yes, yes,
हाँ मैं
yes,
सुना था Malgudi days.
yes. Who wrote this?
तो সেটা জানি না আমি
You
শুনেছি
you
Malgudi
search it out. Who wrote the Malgudi days? Malgudi days is a famous novel.
sir R.K. Narayan.
Yes, R.K. Narayan is an Indian writer in English. R.K. Narayan said that evil evil does exist into the children. R.K. Narayan as a writer emphasized
Yes sir.
on this point of view that evil does not only exist in adult, evil does exist in the children.
স্যার এগুলো
Arkanarayan,
তো wicked বাচ্চা.
yes, Arkanarayan believes in the wickedness of children. Clear? So, if you think of this text from that similar point of view, will you not say that these five children, mostly Roald Dahl, the writer himself, was mischievous one, was a rogue child, was a dangerous child, evil does exist in him, right?
Yes sir.
So, from that point of view, you try to realize the five children were without any discipline in the classroom, dancing and cheering. Even they were crying, we will do it today. That means they have taken decision to do it by today, right?
Yes sir.
Even they are saying when they will have done this. They are saying we will
Sometime
do it
during
on the way home.
yes sir.
You had the idea. They said to me, so you can be the one to put the mouse in the jar. So, who one will put the mouse in the jar? Who
Sir
has
the
the
narrator.
idea? Who has brought the idea? Right?
It's a narrator.
Yes, the narrator has brought the idea. The idea first came into the narrator's mind. This is why narrators will have done this job of keeping the dead mouse into the sweet jar of Mrs. Patchett's. Right? Clear?
Yes sir. Yeah.
Thewitz handed me to the mouse. I put it into my trouser pocket. You see how much dangerous they are. how much mischievous they are. They put the dead mouse, they put the rotten mouse, they put the stinked mouse, unpleasant smelled mouse, they put into their trousers pocket. That means they don't have any hatred for the dead mouse, but they have their hatred for the lady Mrs. Patchett's, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, what do you think of them? I think they were dangerous children, they were mischievous,
Yes, sir.
they were rogue children. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Because Dahl is here saying they hate, hmm, they had hatred for Mrs. Patchett because Mrs. Patchett had filthy fingers to take the sweets out of the jar when customers come, right?
Yes, sir.
So they are concerned about it. They are concerned about the dirty hand of Mrs. Patchett. But they don't concern about what they are doing now. They are not concerned about their conduct of keeping the dead mouse, rotten mouse, in the trousers pocket, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what you will say, but I must say they were mischievous, they were rogue children, they were much dangerous, and evil does exist in them. Right?
Yes, sir.
Then the five of us left the school, crossed the village green, and headed for the sweet shop. That means they have already targeted to destroy Mrs. This is why they are now going there, right?
Yes, sir.
To to cause the dangerous fun. I must say dangerous fun, right?
Yes, sir.
So we left like a gang of, what is it? We left like a gang of desperados setting out to rob a train or blow up the Seafar's office. You see,
Shepherds.
the writer has said this. Hmm.
That's all.
You see the line there.
I'm
Hmm.
পড়েছি।
Yes, that means, will you say still they were not mischievous, as you
Yes,
said
sir.
first, but I changed your point of view by the description of Arkenarayan. Whoever considers that evil does exist in children. Hmm.
So that means you were two.
Yes?
So when you were a child, you were two.
No, no, no. I was not so much dangerous as I have been studying Roald Dahl in this text, right?
So not now.
Yes, not now, as I have been teaching you in the class
Yes, sir.
this text. Make sure you put it into a jar which is used often. Someone said, I'm putting it in the gobstoppers. I said. So, gobstoppers, what is gobstoppers?
So type of sweet.
Yes, it's a kind of sweet. The gobstoppers jar is never behind the counter. That means it is always kept in the fronter side of the counter, right? I have got a penny. So I have got a penny. You will see, I have got a penny. So they have their role by their penny. That penny they will have used to distract the attention of the shopkeeper, right?
Yes, sir.
They will misuse. They will misuse the penny there to distract the attention of the shopkeeper. Right? Who is the shopkeeper? Who is the shopkeeper?
That's it.
Yes, Mrs. Patchett is the shopkeeper. So, Thevet said, so I will ask for one served sucker and one bootless. What is served sucker?
Sir, sweetie.
It is a kind of liquid, right?
Yes, sir.
That is used when lollipop is eaten, right?
Yes, sir.
Because when you are eating lollipop, when you are having lollipop, then you are dipping it into the sweet powder. That
Yes, sir.
sweet powder is called soured sucker, right?
Yes, sir.
And bootless means you understand it's the less of boot, right?
Yes, sir.
And yes, soured sucker and bootless, asking about them is just their excuse to distract the attention of the shopkeeper. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And when she turns, thus everything was arranged. We were starting a little as we entered the shop. We were the victorious now, and Mrs. Patchett was the victim. Yes, this is contradictory ideas written by Dahl. Which are the contradictory ideas? One is victorious and another is victim. So, who became victorious? Obviously, the narrator as a character in the story became victorious
Yes,
with
sir.
his classmates, right?
Yes, sir.
But victim became Mrs. Patchett, right?
Yes,
She
sir.
stood behind the counter and her small, malignant pig eyes watched us. You see how much hatred they had for the lady, for the shopkeeper, for Mrs. Patchett, right?
So becoming a child, it is not possible.
Yes.
So to
They,
have so
they
much
are,
happiness.
yes, they are much considerate from their point of view. This is why they are saying that her eyes were pig eyes and malignant pig eyes. Malignant means infectious. So appearance of the shopkeeper Mrs. Patchett we don't know. Just what is given here from the childish point of view, that we are getting in the text, right? So you
Yes,
cannot say what was the reality, because what is being stated in terms of the statements, actually these are written from the child's point of view, right? Because they were then children. Hmm. So they thought about her like she had a small malignant pig eyes, right?
yes, sir.
Suspiciously, as we came forward, one served sucker, please, Thevet said to her, holding out his penny. I kept it, the rear of the group. And when I saw, that means he was separated from the group on that time to commit his job, right?
Yes,
Job of keeping the dead mouse in the sweet jar. So I kept it to the rear of the group. That means I was separated from the group. And when I saw Mrs. Patchett turns her head away for a couple of seconds, I lifted the heavy glass lid of the gobstopper jar and dropped the mouse in. Clear?
yes, sir.
So how they did their job? When the time came to them, that means he was out of the group to commit the job. to fulfill their intention of keeping the dead mouse into the jar, and another children were distracting the attention of Mrs. Patchett, right?
Yes, sir.
So it is said, I kept it to rear of the group, and when I saw Mrs. Patchett turn her head away for a couple of seconds, I lifted the heavy glass lid of the gobstopper jar and dropped the mouse in. Already, I dropped the mouse in. তার মানে already the job has been done, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I replaced the lid and silently as possible. That means no noise should be created there. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, they could be caught by Mrs. Patchett, right?
Yes, sir.
So my heart was thumping like mad, and my heads had gone all sweaty. You see, this is very very important line. Hmm. So
Pranabhava.
why your head had gone mad and your head gone all sweaty?
Because they were scared. Means the latter was
Why?
scared.
Why they were scared? Because they committed
Because they did
wrong.
something bad.
Yes, they did something wrong. Very wrong they did. Right?
Yes, sir.
Clear. So
Yes,
from
sir.
this line by Roald Dahl, it is clear that it was their wrong deed. Even they can realize this. Right?
Yes, sir.
They did not do that innocently. They did not do that innocently. Did they do innocently?
No, sir.
No, that means
They
they
did it
know.
mischievously.
They were intentional.
Yes,
They were
sir.
intentional. They knew about the harmfulness of their crime, harmfulness of their job, their deed, their misconduct, their misdeed, right? So
Yes,
this
sir.
is why the Dali is saying my heart was thumping like mad and my hairs had gone all sweaty. And one bootless, please, and one bootless, please. I heard Thwaite saying, right? Thwaite
Yes,
saying. That means Thwaite played the role to distract the attention of Mrs. Patchett, right?
yes,
So,
sir.
what role did Thwaite plays? What role did Thwaite play? This is a question. What role was played by Thwaites? Role of distracting the attention of the shopkeeper Mrs. Patchett, right?
Yes, sir.
This is a question, keep in mind.
Yes,
I
yes,
saw
okay.
Mrs. Patchett holding out a bootless in her filthy fingers. Further, it is called filthy fingers. So, how much hatred they did, it is clear here, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
don't want all the lot of my, I don't want all the lot of you trooping in. If only one of you is buying, she screamed at us. Now, beat it. Go on, get out.
సామాన్య మిసెస్ ప్యాచెట్ కానీ రూట్ టైప్ వచ్చింది.
Not only that, Mrs. Patchett possibly understood that they were the mischievous children, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mrs. Patchett was acknowledged about them. This is why she behaved like this. Not only that, she suspected as well, right?
Yes, sir.
As soon as we were outside, we broke into a run. Did you do it? They shouted at me. Of course I did it, I said. Well done, you. They cried with a super so. What a super so, right?
Yes, sir.
This is their compliment. Huh? Compliment on the task by Roald Dahl. Compliment of the four children on the task of Roald Dahl. What is the task, you know? So, what a super so. It was a kind of so to them. But on the other hand, Mrs. Patchett had been a victim mm, by their victory. I felt like a hero. This is an important line. I felt like a hero. I felt like a hero. I was a hero. It was marvelous to be so popular. So, you see, how did they consider their job? Hmm. From which point of view they are talking about this? Which point of view they are talking about? Hmm? They are talking about their childish point of view.
চাইল্ডিশ হ্যাঁ স্যার মানে বাচ্চা বয়সে সবাই ছোট্ট ছোট্ট জিনিসকে নিজেকে হিরো মনে করে।
Yes, but they know. They knew what they did because his heart was thumping like the mad and his hairs had gone all sweaty. Right? From this line, we can say they were committing wrong. They were doing wrong by making dangerous fun, and they should not have done such, right? And it is duty of elder to rebuke, mm, to teach you discipline. It is the duty of elders. That does not mean you will have to start him or her hating, right? So suppose your elder is rebuking you, your elder is scolding you for your misconduct. Will you take it otherwise? You should not take it otherwise if you are a considerate child. So they were not considerate child. This is why they were thinking so. They considered their task to be a task of hero. They considered it victory, joy, fun, laughter. Hmm. So it was a marvel. It was a marvelous to be so popular. So then Roald Dahl felt how much interest can be there to be popular amongst the classmates, friends, right?
Yes, sir.
So it can be also a question did how the popularity was received by the narrator as a character in the story. So you have to tell what happened there and how narrator is considered to be a hero by the others. So
Yes,
heroic feeling was felt by the narrator. It was a kind of heroic feeling, right?
yes, sir.
So one thing should be clear: for having been done bad deed by the narrator Roald Dahl, he felt in himself heroic victory, right? Then he was a child who knows nothing about the result of misdeed or wrong deed. That you can say. That is also mm, a consideration from childish point of view. Now Roald Dahl is mature. Now Roald Dahl is major, right?
Yes, sir.
He can realize the vitality he did being angry with Mrs. Patchett with his friend, right?
Yes,
Possibly he has been repentant. Possibly he has been repentant now when he is major, sufficiently aged. Hmm. This is why he has narrated this story just to mean fun in, as he has considered himself to be an unacknowledged child. And at the same time, by the tone, you see the tone in the story. By the tone, he has tried to make the readers understand in a mood of implication that the story of making fun in reality by causing harm cannot be justified by the reality, right?
Yes, sir.
So the fun that you are making in the reality by causing fun, that type of fun cannot be justified by the reality, right? Reality will not justify your fun at all if such fun causes harm, right? So Roald Dahl has also implied that their hatred towards Mrs. Patchett was nothing but childish. So it is an admixture. Roald Dahl has not clearly clarified. Roald Dahl has not clearly stated whether he has done right or whether he has done wrong. So
So because he was small that time.
no, 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 not that. It is being left in the hands of the readers. Readers will judge this whether this conduct was just or not, right?
Yes, sir.
However, the readers should be concerned about the message that no fun should be dangerous. So, what is the message that you are being concerned? Message is that no fun should be dangerous. What fun you are making, you are doing should not be dangerous anyhow, anymore. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And the fun made by the author in childhood is still under the judgment of the readers. So, readers will judge. Huh? Readers will judge whether this fun caused or made by Dhal was apt or not. So the fun made by author in childhood is still under the judgment of the readers. Means
Yes,
the readers will judge the fun, hmm, whether it was dangerous or not.
yes, sir.
So fun is of two types, right? So on the one hand, fun by causing no harm, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
this fun is called an absolute fun in reality, to make a true laughter, to cause a true laughter, right?
Yes, sir.
Fun will not harm you. Fun will make you smile. Fun will make you laugh, right?
Yes, sir.
But some funs are also there in the society in reality, which cause harm, which cause dangerous harm, right?
Yes, sir.
So those funds should be banded strictly. Those funds should not be followed anyhow, right?
Yes, sir.
So don't take Roald Dahl. Otherwise, Roald Dahl has suddenly ended the story by leaving an open end to the readers. Readers can restart the story from its end, right? This
Yes,
story has an open end, very good open end. It has suddenly ended. Right. That means you see, Roald Dahl is asking you to rewrite this story once more on your uh, own judgment, right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
judgment is left in your hand. If you think it is right, so it's right. If you think it's wrong, so it's wrong. Clear.
Yes, sir.
But this thing should not be mislead. eh, should not be mislead. So, will you mislead this story by causing such dangerous harm in your reality?
No, sir.
Story is not permitting you, but story is giving you message. Not to make such a fun, such a dangerous fun, which causes harm, dangerous harm in the life of people. For example, here in the story, Mrs. Patchett, right?
Yes, sir.
So don't cause such a harm to make a fun. Instead, make such a fun that will make everyone smile. No one will cry. No one will be disappointed. No one will be harmed by by your fun. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So, according to Roald Dahl, in the message, fun should not cause any harm in anyone's life. Instead, fun should fun should be in right way.
Smile in some other people's
Yes,
face.
yes, yes, yes. It will make the other people smile. Hmm. This is the main message that is implied, not clearly stated, because the story has suddenly ended. Whatever had happened there in the reality in Dal's life in childhood, that has just stated. From the childish point of view, whatever they thought, whatever they did, just written there in the story. But that does not mean you will take it otherwise. You have to understand what the story is trying to mean, what the message the story is trying to convey to the readers, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the main fact in the story. Okay, I hope I have critically discussed this story. Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Each and every line I have said, and I hope it is clear to you and you will have no further question from here, right?
No, sir.
What do you say? Have you any question or any query further?
No, sir.
No question, no query, right?
Yes, sir.
So I can stop, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
can stop means I can stop to describe this story further, or I can wrap up my discussion on this story here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.